Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to our LinkedIn Live show. It's a lovely Friday morning, and I'm so happy to be here with you. My name is Adrian, and I'm the CEO and founder of Career Agility International. And as always, next to me is...
Happy Friday. I love Fridays.
Yes, we do. Once again, my name is Adrian, and it's Yen, my co-founder. And together we are Career Agility International. We are a group of career experts who help individuals like you to achieve career success and be happy in life.
So today we want to keep it casual, and we have a bunch of disparate questions that have come in from our listeners and our readers and our
these are
followers.
very amazing questions. No, I cannot...
Amazing?
Yeah, they're really amazing because they're so good, and I really want to can't wait to get cracking.
I don't know. I don't know. You seem very fuzzy. Excitable about a question like networking question and
no. This
how to deal with headhunter type questions.
But this one's really fun. One of the first questions is this: I've caught my boss doing something really unethical, and should I report it? Because if I report it, he will know it's me.
Or if you report it, that's your career limiting move right there, and you've got no more future because your boss knows that you don't have his back.
And possibly in the industry, not just in the company itself.
So dangerous. Question. Yes. Do you have any idea what was the questionable behavior in question? Sorry, I need coffee.
It wasn't stated, but I'm imagining that it's something that okay, so give a quick example. I know an individual who literally caught the boss fudging on pricing to the client.
That's a tough one.
So on one hand, they were making super normal profits, and they were all making off very good bonuses because the pricing was just wrong. But the client didn't bother, didn't care, didn't notice. And if you pull a plug, you tell the client that A, you're going to lose that client.
Yeah.
But B, you're going to lose the bonuses.
I have another story about that. The client cottoned on that the company had different pricing for different companies.
Okay.
And I think the organization was naive enough to assume that people don't talk.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like, hey, your salary needs to be completely confidential, but we all know that it's the biggest, most gossiped amount, open secret in any organization. So as leaders, you shouldn't be so naive to think that people won't discuss salaries. But anyway, so the customer cottoned on that they were paying a lot more for the license for the software than other organizations because CIOs talk. And so they used it to strong arm the organization to reduce rates, reduce it significantly.
That's fair.
Would you blame the organization for trying to increase and optimize their margins if they can get away with it?
Yeah, correct.
The question is that collusion?
No, but this case was one where it was a deliberate pricing error that the company made.
Was it a continued error for year on year for the last 5 years, 10 years?
It was for 3 years. So,
that's bad, yeah.
So, you can continue on. So anyway, what would you do? I'm curious for our listeners out there. If you got a situation, what would you do? Yeah.
I think if I just joined the organization, I would probably not say anything because I think it's not my place. But if I'm a key member of the decision-making team and I spotted something, I'd probably want to check in with a mentor first and figure out what would be the consequences of whistleblowing versus not doing anything. And then I could quickly find another job because these are people you cannot trust.
No. Oh, no.
You cannot trust. So you know that there is going to be, the end of the runway is coming. It's a matter of time because if you are caught, let's say the leadership changes. Let's say there's an audit that is being conducted. So if there's collusion between the customer and the company and they continued this behavior because there was kickbacks, for example. Chances are there is. Then when someone new comes in and the landscape changes and you are still in the team that created this criminal offense, it's fraudulent, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Then you need to extricate yourself ASAP. So leave on a high, say, hey boss, I have to go to the mountain to commune with nature and do some self-actualization. Take care, bye-bye.
I don't know. Okay.
It's not worth your reputation, especially if you've got 20 years ahead of you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, if something that's criminal, you don't want to be involved. But if it's something that is honest mistake, then I think maybe you might want to flag it.
An honest mistake that continues for 3 years and perpetuated is not an honest mistake anymore.
It's like, I close one eye, I don't want to see what's going on, kind of thing.
But there's been many other grey areas of misbehaviors. So this story is because you've heard it before. But back to our listener who asked that question, I mean, what if you caught your boss having an affair
with
an internal colleague?
Internal colleague or somewhere outside?
Yeah. What would you do? I mean, the thing is, our listener
Blackmail.
did not. The listener did not
I will
say
blackmail.
what was this misbehavior. So there are many versions, many types of misbehavior.
What I would do if I saw my boss? If my boss was sleeping with one of the colleagues, it's not my place. I'll just sit down and shut up.
Yeah, I would sit down and shut up as well.
Yeah.
Unless said colleague gets promoted 3 times
Or
in
the
1
same
year.
colleague pisses you off and starts being like an unpleasant person, then but
It's not illegal.
Yeah.
But let's say you were given a perk and you have a chance to fly business class. And you tell your company, hey, you know, I'm going to bring my wife along. So this could be also is a very grey area.
Yeah.
And you want to divide your business class ticket into 2 economy tickets.
Yeah. Okay, if it's company policy, you can ask and clarify. So when I was in Shell, there's a policy you could do it if it was a training, not a business trip, but it was a training program. You went overseas, you could do it. But those are policies. Those are policies. Now, my other question to you related to the previous question is this: do you think
We're still on the same question, by the way.
do you think it's fair for a company to fire someone because he's having an affair with a colleague? Why?
I think so.
It's a private thing, right? It's like,
No, it's not, because there's.
By the way, it's not that I don't condone such naughty behaviors, okay? but do you think it's fair? Then the guy said it was my personal thing, or?
Yeah, but if it impacts your decisions and there's conflict of interest, and we know that there's such a thing as pillow talk, and it may not be. I mean, most organizations will have policies against fraternization.
Are you sure?
Regardless of whether you're
written?
married or unmarried.
I've not seen anything that's written.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in HR, so I've not seen anything written. But usually it is not. It's not condoned, and if you do, in the civil service, then they move you into different departments.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming it's not an affair right now. We're not talking about extramarital affairs. We're talking about fraternization.
Okay, let's take 2 steps back. Okay, let's structure this. Okay, if a person was having an affair, is a senior leader, okay, with someone outside of the company, but he's married,
Yeah, that's none of your business.
can the company fire a person for that?
No, that's personal, not professional, unless it impacts their professional performance. So let's say there's a huge drama that unfolds, and then there's a storm in the teacup, and then
If it affects your performance,
he enters this
but you can't fire.
mental depression because
But then that's different.
his wife is taking him to the cleaners. I'm writing a drama serial here, don't disturb. So then his wife is taking him to the cleaners, and then he's depressed, and he can't perform at work.
Okay, that's okay.
Then
that's a performance issue. But can you
Or
fire
worse,
someone
because
for
he tries to steal something from the company to appease the wife.
Okay, that's all criminal behavior. Okay.
By the way,
And you've been watching too
writing
many K-dramas.
a drama serial.
Okay, so if it's external, probably not. But if it's internal and it's a junior,
Yes.
then you can definitely say that.
Very similar
that
to the
there's-
Try Guys thing, because there's a expectation.
What try guys?
So the Try Guys were these 4 YouTubers, and one of them was having an affair with a subordinate, and because of the power imbalance.
Hang on a while.
Yeah.
Having an affair means you're married.
Yes.
And you
married
got-
kids.
Okay.
Both.
Whereas if you're sleeping with,
Yeah, and let's put that aside for now.
We're talking about
let's
married couple.
Forget about the ethics and the morality for now. But the point is that if a superior, because of the power imbalance, there's this power imbalance causing the subordinate to acquiesce and to agree to
So there's
something that they
some
don't.
power
Yeah,
play
given
going on.
that,
Okay.
I think that is a cause for dismissal. And we've seen a lot of that happen.
Okay.
And check out the
Okay.
Try Guys.
So what about if it's a peer? 2 consenting peers.
Yeah, I don't know. But then as the boss of 2 peers or two junior peers who are fraternizing, I'd be very concerned about their ability to remain objective, to focus on the larger picture and the common goal.
Okay.
Because they'd probably be doing and colluding, or maybe they're doing other things. I mean, it impacts the team dynamics, and it's not in any survivor situation where there is a power couple, the rest of the group will want to break that couple up because that they have the power of 2 votes versus singular votes.
I think you've been watching too many Survivor.
But it's true when we talk about team dynamics. It really is about how it impacts the rest of the team, and I feel like there are some teams where it's okay, and they're okay with it because somehow it works. But there are some teams where no, it's not okay.
So, final scenario: if a person has an affair with someone superior, high up the food chain, and the superior is fired.
Yeah, there goes your godfather. There goes your
but should
umbrella.
this person also be fired? Because
generally,
and if it's a gender, if it's a guy,
it depends on the kangaroo court. It depends on the kangaroo court, and also the size of the organization and whether or not they're in the same department.
Yeah.
There are so many other factors.
Yeah.
Again, we're not condoning it, and let's not like hang them out to dry.
I don't know.
But when it comes to grey,
it's so grey, right?
grey behaviors, you want to watch your reputation.
The point is, you don't shit where you sleep, okay? And that's why, office romances, I think, are okay. Okay, number one, if you're not married, fine, it's okay. It's something which you really need to stay clear from, and but Yan is correct. The company can fire you on the grounds if it's a situation where, even if it's just optics, okay, where your junior and you get involved. So, moral of the story: don't shit where you sleep. Stay on a straight and narrow. Next question.
We're still in the same question, because my question is to what extent is bad?
Yeah.
And to what extent would a misbehavior or misdemeanor be a termination offense? So what if you were given a budget and you decided to use that budget for marketing purposes, for instance, but you benefit your brother-in-law's company? I mean, these are very common.
It happens.
It happens. And you give your business and your patronage.
Especially if you have a brother who's running a karaoke lounge
with alcohol,
and
and you bring your clients there for entertainment, or that construction company and the town council decides to use a certain construction company run by certain people.
So I think you have to declare such things, and if you don't declare it, it's immediately the assumption of guilt is there.
Yeah, so there is very clearly criminal things. For example, if you siphon funds, that's very clearly criminal,
clear.
right? So back to our listener who asked this question. The question is, I caught my boss doing something. Should I report it?
That's a very long
Then my
answer
question
to one
is,
simple question.
did the boss ask you to lie? That's another one. Like, how big is this lie? What if the boss is just asking you, said, hey, we just got the PO, but I'm changing the date. I need you to tell and report change the date, because your client visit needs to be before this date. Is that okay?
Yeah. So is that okay? That's a very good question to have.
A simple one. Okay, let's just go with office stationery. I caught my boss taking home 2 reams of paper.
Oh, that's cheap. But it happens a lot though.
But hey, we work from home. We do work from home.
I got my colleague photocopying the exam papers for her daughter. It happens.
And when do we stop there, right? You ate company's time because you're on Facebook, or you're making TikToks in the office pantry. You're recording a private conversation in order to complain to TikTok and the universe.
Once again, everything's all in the balance, and we need to see what is legal, what's illegal, what's petty, but if it's strictly criminal, then if your boss is asking you to engage in criminal activity, then that's really, really going to be wrong, and you're going to get into a lot of trouble for that. Don't do it.
So easy to say.
Yeah, it
But
is.
when you face such challenging situations and you need someone safe to talk to, come talk to us.
Yeah, that's true.
We've heard a lot of stories and we've seen a lot of situations, and we're here for you. Just there are ethical considerations, but there are also the legal considerations.
And there's also the strategic-
unethical behavior, but it's not illegal. I
And
think.
there's also the strategic career implications as well. So come talk to us.
Yeah, whatever it is, keep your reputation intact.
Next question.
Really? I like this question because there's so many other versions. Okay, the next question
We'll be
is
labouring it too much if you go on.
the next question is, I hate networking. What can I do?
Don't. Next question after that.
I hate networking myself. I absolutely detest the small talk. But it is necessary.
And it's effective.
And if I think I would be okay if I knew that it was coming and it was planned for. I don't like being blindsided. So if there's going to be, oh, hey, this last minute things that you always do to me. It's like, hey, yeah, there's somebody coming. I want you to meet him. I'm like, ugh. Ugh.
Because you have to be in that frame of mind.
I need to enter the zone, prepare myself, probably create and take out from my file, take out the drawer, take out the file of repertoire of questions and comments and conversation topics. For those of you who don't like networking, sometimes we need to pull out that drawer and then we prepare a series of topics and then we mentally kind of go into that frequency. Yeah, I completely get it, but it's a psychological game
Yeah.
you play with yourself.
It's basically a skill and an activity which you have to actively engage in if you want to further your career. You can stay in your circle, but when the time comes for you to need help or for you to reach out to people for either information, for favors, or for contacts, it's going to come in handy. And if you only reach out when you need help, then you're going to be seen like a user. So just keep those relationships, keep those contacts warm, and you never know when they might come in handy. But don't just take things away from the relationship. What can you do to put in? What can you do to help? What can you do to deepen the relationship? So networking is more about relationships than just collecting name cards. So
Yeah, it requires
Yeah.
effort.
it requires effort.
It does require
Yeah,
effort.
and it's
So
a skill.
you don't need many contacts to be successful in your career.
Yeah.
You need to be strategic with where you spend your time. You need to make time for people.
Sure.
Yeah. Next question. How to explain... Oh no, wait. This one. I want to update my LinkedIn, but I'm afraid that my colleagues or my bosses will see. I had a client once who said that the organization was going through a bit of a recovery after a major restructuring. And this individual said that they could see the remaining colleagues started updating their LinkedIn. And everyone knew that the moment you update your LinkedIn, you're on the lookout. The world knows. So this client was afraid of updating his LinkedIn
And there's
as
nothing
well.
wrong to that, right?
So
There's nothing wrong to it. Our advice is update your LinkedIn. Okay, and if your bosses ask you why you update your LinkedIn, you say, yeah, because it's my professional page. I see my other clients as well, so they often ask me for things like where I was and everything. So this is a very good information for me to build my credibility. But honestly, your LinkedIn page is yours. Don't let people affect you. I got this person once who said that I don't want to update my LinkedIn because my boss will know. And I said, so what?
yeah, it's kind of like cutting off your own nose to spite your face, which is kind of silly. So you should absolutely be updating your LinkedIn. And the thing is this, your response was perfect only if other people come and question you. Hey, you update your LinkedIn, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Then you can
Yes, I
respond.
did, yeah.
But what if no one mentions it, but they're all thinking it and they're all
Then
gossiping
it's their
behind
own
your back?
problem. Seriously, it's your own problem.
So you need to reach that age where you can't be bothered what other people think about you.
I don't give a damn.
The alternative is to block them first. You can block a couple of the gossips and the big ones. You can block your boss for a short while, update your LinkedIn, and then give it a bit of time and then connect back because the bosses won't know. So if on LinkedIn, if you block someone, they won't know you've blocked them. That's another way. But yeah, it's a bit of a mindset. So if you're gonna be afraid of people, thinking, then I think you are projecting because you are concerned that people are thinking the way you are thinking when you see them do their thing. So don't project. And so to this specific client, I told him, go ahead and update your LinkedIn because you're projecting. He said, oh, but what if they think? I mean, like, how would you know if they're thinking it or not? Maybe they aren't.
Yeah, they probably aren't. So
exactly. Because everyone's doing it, you might as well do it. Yeah.
I have a personal question for you.
Yeah.
So after so many years of career coaching, are there people who are uncoachable?
Yes.
That's fast.
Yes.
Normally, you're supposed to like pause a while and go.
No.
Like,
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
There are individuals who are unprepared for the advice. There are also those who I don't know what it is, but I would use the word contrarian.
Okay, hold on.
To describe
Unprepared,
them.
meaning
They're not ready to
receive.
receive, even though they know they wanted it. But when they are told that, you know, whatever it is as part of their growth, feedback and in blind spots, it can be very traumatic, and maybe they're not ready to receive it. They need a couple more, a bit more time to kind of process it.
And when you say
to see
contrarian,
the
means
truth.
what? It means to say that no,
No,
wrong,
the
wrong.
contrarian ones are the ones who just disagree with everything just because.
Oh, okay.
And there are those.
Yeah.
Because there are other people whom they maybe hold in higher esteem, whom has told them something different. So when they come to us, and they, or me anyway, and they ask how, and I tell them how, and they go, but I was told, but it was like this, and this worked for me in the past. And I'm like, yeah, you were a different person back then, but it worked for me in the past. I'm like, okay, you can try it again, but it's not working, is it?
So how do you handle those people then?
I think there's only so much we can do. You pay me for the truth. By the way, guys, the best advice is the advice you pay for. That's true.
That's true.
There are those who would be very willing to give free advice. You got to wonder what their agenda is. And most of the time, that free advice comes with ego stapled to it. So, and you've got to be mindful about whether or not that advice is going to work for you.
Especially
So,
if that career advice is coming from your boss.
or your well-meaning second uncle twice removed. It happens,
Yeah.
which is fine. You know how I remember when I've been pregnant 3 times, and every time I'm pregnant, or you know, like well-meaning aunties come out of the woodwork and give you all sorts of advice.
You cannot eat this.
You cannot eat that, or you cannot do this, you cannot do that.
Don't
So
juggle chainsaws
take-
when you're pregnant.
take it with the well-meaning intention, but you know that if it's not going to work for you, then don't absorb it lah. But I mean, I'm just saying. So yes, there are people who are uncoachable. In fact, in my early coaching career, I had a questionnaire for my own clients. I had a series of questions, and the questionnaire was labeled, "Are you ready for coaching? Are you ready?" Because sometimes, and I know how vulnerable you can feel if you're faced with the brutal truth. It's a very scary feeling. Nobody likes that, to be told what their blind spots are. And to that end, I've tried my best to be as diplomatic as possible. But as you know, diplomacy is not my strong suit. I am very helpful with the truth, the very stark truth, and so sometimes it's a little bit tough. So it is. Yes, I have had uncoachable clients. How about you?
Yes, I've had uncoachable clients who are just simply resistant. A lot of times, these people don't come to the meeting on their own volition. Someone paid for them, someone said, hey, you should talk to this career coach. And then what happens is that when you have like conversation with them, they're like, oh, no, arms folded, kind of thing. And normally I just stop going to advisory mode and just have coffee with them, and just no point, because you can't coach an uncoachable person because it's water off a duck's back. So yeah, I just don't bother. It's like, let's just be friends.
What about those that pay out of pocket for their advice?
Well, I leave it with them, let them process it, and I always tell them, look, advice is given. Okay, I may be right, I may be wrong. You process it, and if you feel that it works for you, then it works for you. If you feel it doesn't work for you, then I'll just say, okay, there was one perspective to it. You can go get other advice as well to calibrate. But ultimately, if you're paying for it and I'm letting you know from my perspective and you're not taking the advice from a professional, then it's just sad. I mean,
It's very like going to see a fortune teller. You're stupid if you listen, and you're stupid if you don't listen. What are you going to do?
No, the problem with individuals who who seem uncoachable, even though they pay for it, is because the honest truth of it is all they want to hear is their own thoughts in your voice.
They want validation.
Yeah, and for their mental models, and they basically want you to tell them what they think. And if you tell, so I was watching this documentary on Netflix. It's about this Chinese company setting up a manufacturing plant in Heartland America. Okay, and the cultural conflicts that came because it's Chinese bosses and American workers, right?
Well, that must have been fun.
It was damn funny. And the Chinese managers were exasperated. The American manufacturers, the workers were exasperated. And then because the Chinese guys made the American workers do the very Oriental exercise in the morning,
Wow.
kind of stuff, so they didn't like it.
Oriental.
Very
Seriously?
Oriental, very Oriental.
Exercise.
To them,
Oriental exercise.
Because I want to say Japanese, but it's not just Japanese, it's Chinese now. So anyway,
What's an Oriental exercise?
Asian. Okay, so anyway, and the Chinese foreign Americans very stubborn. And the Chinese said, the Chinese manager said, made a comment. He said that there's a Chinese saying that donkeys like their hair rubbed in one direction only. So he said, this American only want to hear what they want to hear in their own voice. So donkeys only like their hair rubbed in one direction. Sometimes you do get clients who just want to hear their thoughts. And it's fine for them. You just tell them, give them their money's worth.
That's not value. So what worries me is when the client refuses my advice and continues to do what they do, and things don't work out, and then it blows back on us for being ineffective as coaches.
Yeah, that's true.
So it puts us in a very tough position. We're between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Because you're not really accepting the advice.
Yeah.
And I have a client like that, and I stopped giving any feedback, even though they asked for it.
And that's true.
They did.
And
they
that's
asked
true.
for it. They said,
And it's sad and true.
They asked me for feedback on something, and I just said, no, all good. Because I didn't want to have another argument. It was not worth the effort and the emotional energy.
And sometimes they don't want to change. So
To argue,
my brother is a doctor, as you know. When he was a younger doctor, he was working in the hospital. And one patient with diabetes, very bad diabetes, came in. And he was telling her to don't cut back on the sugar, cut back on the carbs and everything. Okay. And then after that, at lunchtime, he saw her drinking Coca-Cola in the food court, in the canteen. And he went up to her and he scolded her. So some people just don't want to listen.
Yeah.
Even though they know it's for their own good. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's leave it as that. Okay. So
Yeah.
Last question.
I don't know. Which one do you want to tackle? Because there are so many. There are so many. Corporate gifts. Okay, let's go. Would you accept a corporate gift?
Oh, yeah, define corporate gift.
A huge hamper worth $8,888 for Chinese New Year. Comes with Chardonnay. And,
Wait. It's directed to me or to the company?
I don't know. To a key executive who is, doing business partners.
And that's interesting because if it's to the company, then I will distribute it. But if it's to me, I will probably declare it. But I'm the boss, so I'll keep it. I don't care in this situation. Anyone wants to give me hampers, so I just said, okay, the address is 101 Thompson Road. Okay, so level 6. Please send. I also accept checks and credit card. But it's ultimately it's about being proper. And if it's below, I like the government guidelines. Below $50, don't really need to declare.
I think it's nice that we have what's an acceptable guideline. Token sums are okay, but I've heard of organizations that said no, entirely zero, no gifts whatsoever. And if there is a gift, executives are expected to reject.
Yeah.
Even if it was a free diary, 2 oranges, apparently it's a no.
So when I was in Shell, and I think I said this before, when I got married, my customers came and one of them gave me a huge ass TV set, which was about 1,000
Wow,
plus.
good for you.
And another gave me ang paos that were like $800, $1,000.
Wow.
Good for me.
What did you do?
I declared it.
Okay.
I declared it.
And were they okay? Or?
They were okay. See, wedding is okay. One-off wedding is okay. Yeah. And it's not disproportionate, like $50,000.
Nice.
So,
nice.
and I was in charge of those accounts, pricing and everything. So I declared it, and they said, well, it's okay. It's okay lah. You know, don't.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, man. I told my wife, hey, we should get married again more often. It's like every other year you get one.
I think that would be really fun.
Another wedding.
How
Just
many
an
years
excuse.
now? You and Ping
25.
25. So I think you should do a renewal of your vows. Don't expect anything from me because you don't pay me enough. I'm kidding. But yeah, you should renew your vows and have a huge ass dinner and then get all your clients to
I was
put
watching this.
a registry of gifts.
There's this comedian who was saying that whenever I feel sad, when I'm feeling down, I watch my wedding video, and I feel happy again. Except that I play in reverse.
No.
where I walk in and I walk out.
No.
Oh, so funny, it's silly comedian. Anyway.
I had a client when I was headhunting who sent me a hamper with every birth. At least 2 out of 3 births. He sent me a hamper to the
Yeah, that's
hospital
all right.
room. It was very nice.
That's all right.
I think that's all right. I don't know. There's no real rigid guidelines on what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. I think you wanna make sure that you declare it when it's questionable, and I think it's okay if they give your kids ang pao. There are some. I don't know. It's so. So because this is the New Year season, as we know, and there are lots and lots of people who open house and have parties and invite all and sunder. So not just relatives, but also business partners and professional affiliates. And so then those professional affiliates give huge ang paos
I think they're okay.
to people's children, to your principals and to your business partners.
I think one off.
I don't know. It's an every year affair. I'd be yeah. I mean, you can't go empty-handed when there's an open house. So you've got to bring a gift, and then you've got to, give the ang paos.
You can't declare the ang paos. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I just find it weird.
Yeah.
But I guess if you find someone who is in a position where there's certain influence either way,
Yes.
and it gives you an inordinately large ang pao,
Yes.
like $20,000 ang pao to your kid, and you know that, okay.
But it's a. I think beyond a certain age where parents stop collecting kids' ang paos, the parents won't know, and it's not a big deal anyway.
What?
Because in an open house, I don't know which uncle gave me ang pao. I don't know which uncle.
Opens
But
up
I'm going to share with you
ang pao
that when I was growing up, and growing up, we're not super wealthy, so every year I would receive exact amount. I will always roughly know that it's always this type of coloured note. There was one year, I got this ang pao, and the reason I would declare it to my parents because they kept, my mom would keep the money for me, and it's the first time I've ever seen $100 note, and this was 40 years ago.
Wow,
right? You think about it. It was, and I was like, oh. And then after that, there was this, like, oh, I can't keep it because mom's gonna take it away. But then I know, having then declared it to my parents, then my dad would know which person gave that ang pao, and because it didn't come during the so but yes, I have received a big ang pao that one time, and it was major, and
Okay, big
my
question.
eyes were like, ooh,
What's the one
wow. I was very young.
Did you get to keep it, or did your parents keep it?
I never kept the money. I didn't keep any ang pao money until I was in my late teens.
Yeah, because it's your parents' money anyway. Because it's a recycled
I don't
thing,
know.
so.
We can have a deep dive, because me and my husband were talking about it the other time, about our growing up years and how he would give the ang pao to the parents, because the notes are still fresh. You can reuse them.
And on that note, well, if you have any career questions, just feel free to email us, info@careeragility.org. We've had a couple come in really good questions. Always happy to help, give you a different perspective on the situation you might be in. But in the meantime, if you are feeling stressed out, I hope you get to enjoy the weekend that's coming ahead and have fun. And remember, keep
Don't
calm.
eat too much.
keep calm and career on and don't eat too much. Okay.
Right.
Okay, see you. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.